Well, I think the Cowboys have shown us one thing that I've been asking for, and a lot of other Cowboys fans have as well. When this season became a wash, we just wanted the team to play hard. We just wanted to watch competitive football. And ever since Jason Garrett's taken over, that's what this team has done. And that definitely doesn't mean it's been perfect football or mistake-free football or even pretty football. But it's definitely competitive, definitely much more fun to watch than just watching them lay down after the first quarter. Cowboys won 33-30. Both NFC East games yesterday. Now, I don't really want to compare the Cowboys Redskins game to the enormity of the Eagles Giants game. Um, that game was for trying to get tops in the division, and our game was trying to stay out of the bottom of it. But it does show you that this is an excellent division, and it's probably the best and at least most competitive in football. So you all know what happened with the Eagles and Giants game. Just an amazing outcome. That didn't see that one coming. But there were similarities between it and the Cowboys game. Cowboys had themselves up in the third quarter, 27-7, and I thought it was over. I mean, Rex Grossman wasn't finding anybody, and even on the drives where he did, he'd end up just stalling the drive. They turned the ball over. Um, I know that Cowboys in the first quarter started almost every single drive inside Redskins territory, and it was really just trying. It was almost at first, especially at first quarter and part of the second quarter, it seemed like Dallas is just trying to work on our red zone game because that's we just kept doing that. We just kept getting into the red zone and either stalling or having to kick a field goal or not getting any points at all. And that's something that's going to have to be fixed with this team. That was the glaring problem with the Dallas Cowboys was the red zone offense. It got better there in the end, but you're up 27-7, and then Rex Grossman, he shows you why he has a job in the NFL. And I think because he's become a punchline among football fans for so long, even when he was with the Bears and then went to the Super Bowl. And I think that added to it that he was such a at the time average quarterback, and yet his team went to the Super Bowl. It was on in spite of Rex Grossman. But I think you saw why he still has a job in the NFL. He can make the throws. He had 4 touchdown passes. I mean, the guy in the second half, except for that last pass when Terrence Newman picked it off, Rex Grossman for the most part was on cue. And that's also why he's, I guess, mocked or it's kind of been a joke, is that he does make those mistakes. He does have those moments in the games where you're just like, what are you doing? And he had that there at the end, helped us seal the game. So, with Dallas, I think the standouts for Dallas, of course, was Jason Witten and Sean Kitna, especially in the first half. Kitna was finding Jason all over the place. And, when you got a veteran tight end like Witten, who I think is one of the best in the game, you can definitely tell, especially this season, Witten has slowed down a little bit due to age and just erosion on the body and stuff, but he hasn't lost his mind. And you can tell he finds the openings in the zone. You saw Hazlitt over there with the Redskins just getting frustrated because Witten kept finding the zone and the Redskins wouldn't cover it. But there at the end, we stalled. We weren't moving the ball as well, and the defense was letting up. A defense who, in the first of the game, was doing great. It was the best unit in the game, and then they ended up almost costing us at the end. But Beeler made up for that missed field goal earlier on, made the one that put us ahead, and Cowboys won. I've never been one into positioning for draft picks, and I just don't think I think that takes away from the game. And I'm glad to see not just the Cowboys but the Redskins as well. Even though they benched Don McNabb, I know that Shanahan, his excuse was that he wants to see what the other guys have, what the quarterbacks have, since the season they're not going to the playoffs, and that's fine. I disagree that that's the real reason. I think everyone knows that there's been some issues between McNabb and Shanahan. But other than that, I think that the Redskins came out one to win. You saw them in the way they came back. Sellers and Cooley. Cooley didn't have a catch till the second half, and then he became an impact player for him. Sellers catching out of the backfield, and of course, Santana Moss, who dropped one that probably would have extended the game for the Redskins. He's a Cowboys killer. He had a couple touchdowns. So I like that both teams were fighting, because even though across the country the other two teams in the division were fighting for something so much more than we were, the two teams in Texas, both games had two teams wanting to win. And really, I've heard some people say, it's not really about the playoffs in these kind of games. You want to beat your rival. So Cowboys Redskins, we split this season. Giants Eagles, they split this season. Both those teams, I look for both those teams to make the playoffs, and I do believe that one of the two, I don't know which one, the Giants or the Eagles will be in the Super Bowl this year. The Falcons are doing well, but just from what I've seen so far, I do think that either the Eagles or the Giants will be in the Super Bowl. Will they win it? I don't know, but I think either one of those two will go to the NFC and then represent the NFC in the championship. So Cowboys win. John Kitna played well. He's staying a great leader for this team right now. Jason Garrett, you got the guys motivated, and it's shown that week to week to week. I think one of the things they pointed out, though, I do want to, in defense of Jason Garrett, a lot of people, and I'm not sure how true this is, but I think it was the best answer you could give. Moose Johnson was talking about during the game about, the Cowboys, ever since Garrett has taken over, has run the football a lot more. And a lot of people had, there's the rumblings of that Jason Garrett, that he kind of sabotaged Wade Phillips. But Jason Garrett said, you can't run the football if the guys aren't physical in practice. Because it's such a physical game, you've got to prepare for that. And since the guys hadn't been practicing in pads with Wade, they weren't ever ready on Sunday to run the football. Now they get that physical, they can hit each other during the week, they can hit each other on Sundays. And so I think that's a pretty good answer. So I think that's a pretty good answer from Jason Garrett. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But I think it's a pretty good answer. So Cowboys got another victory, 5-9. Hey, shooting for 7-9. Hey, you got to shoot for what you can get. And we'll see if they can get it. So it's going to be tough beating the Eagles last game, but you got next week as well. So how about them Cowboys? Beat the Redskins, and they're still fighting. That's all we can ask at this point.